let's see. There we go. Okay, do we have sound now? That's why I wasn't having anybody. I'm so sorry, you guys. We have sound now. I can see it moving. And I didn't even pay attention because I always turn my volume down on this. So I am so sorry. That would explain a lot. Sorry, you guys. Okay, there we go. We have sound. I checked. I'm so sorry. Okay. Woohoo! Party time. All right, so this was Gecko Green. I'm all chatting and not paying attention to sound. Okay, so this was Gecko Green that I used. This next is orange, and this is bittersweet orange. So I will make sure I definitely go over the colors while I paint. This brush that I'm using is a 5/8 angle brush. And then this, you guys, was one of my first signs I ever did and started selling. This is one of my first launches. It was one of the wreath signs that I made. And so it is a goodie, an oldie but a goodie. But I've never done it in door hanger size. So I thought, hey, this would be fun, right? Okay, so next thing, going straight across, just laying down this nice bittersweet orange. Now this bittersweet orange, I love it, but it is a little bit more runny of a paint compared to all of the other Delta paints that I use. It kind of almost makes me feel like I'm using some apple paint. Apple Barrel is a good paint, but they do run a little bit watery. So just a little FYI, nothing, you know, bad about them, but sometimes because they do run watery, the coverage isn't so great. However, for the most part, the coverage is pretty good on these. I am going to just hit this real quick with the heat gun just to make sure that we've got some good coverage. Now remember, when you're using a heat gun, always have it on the low setting and move pretty fast with it. You don't want to let it linger in one spot too long, because if it does, it can cause some bubbling and some peeling to go on, okay? All right, I'm just gonna hit one more time. I can see just a little bit of the green popping through. I'm just gonna get this one more time. Nothing too bad. I've also got, I think I got allergies. I had kind of a little bit of a cold last week, but you know, I was feeling good, but I'm allergic to ragweed, which I didn't realize I was until moving here to North Carolina. And so it is in full bloom in my backyard, side yard, across the way, everywhere. So it has kind of been wreaking some havoc, and we've had some wind today and yesterday, so I think it's messing with me a little bit. So just bear with me on that. All right, I'm gonna throw that back in here. And that was bittersweet orange. The green was Gecko Green. Now let's get some pretty purple going. Purple that we're gonna use for the lighter purple is GP Purple. Absolutely one of my favorite purples. You'll see me use this quite a bit. And I am gonna go with the big brush now. Let me get this brush cleaned out. Okay, so this brush is a 3/4 of an angle brush. And let's get the bubbles brewing, right? So I'm just taking my Ingo brush, working nice and smooth here. Smoothing this out. I've got a little bit of extra paint, so when you get too much on your edge of your brush, sometimes that will happen. So just slightly keep kind of smoothing it out on the edge, and your brush will pick it up, okay? I'm just gonna turn this just a little bit so I get a better angle. Just kind of working with my wrist to get that nice and pretty. Let's get up here, okay? And let's see, I'm gonna go right here with another purple. And the original one, I do not have glitter on it. Can you believe that? But this one, I feel like we're gonna add some glitter. Hey Sherry, how are you? I am doing pretty dang good. It's been a little bit of a day, but I can't complain. Feeling a little spacey, but I think that's just allergy cold kind of stuff. So I'm just praying my voice will hold out. All right, let's go right here with another little bubble. So all I'm doing is just getting these nice bubbles in our cauldron. Just trying to think of like, what kind of spell would she have had? What kind of spell are we doing tonight? Good, Sherry, I'm glad. Let's see, let's go right here with another purple bubble. I was thinking the light purple bubbles be the ones that we would add some glitter on too. So I'm kind of modifying this a little bit from the original. I think we'll do another one right here. Smooth this one out. There we go. And I'm not being too careful just because I know that the darker purple is going to kind of clean up some of these edges. So we just want them nice and smooth. Okay, so we got that one. I think we'll do one more. We'll do one more right here. Brush was getting a little draggy there. All right, nice and smooth. Let's come down here, get another one right here. And then I add a little bit more tiny purple bubbles, so I'm not going to put away the purple paint quite yet because we'll be using it again. There we go. Okay. A little boo-boo right there, but like I said, I'm not going to worry about it too much. Okay, let me throw... Oh, I almost did a boo-boo again. I told you I wasn't going to pull the paint out, and then I did. You know what? I think I'm going to do one purple right here, too. I'm sorry. I think right here would be a cute one, too. All right, I'll get that one painted in there, and then I know this one's gonna show just a little bit of purple here. Oh, and we have the bows. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and go right here and we're gonna get our bows. When I do the bows, I like to get the circles first when I paint my bows, and then I kind of work on the outer. It's just something I do. It's not what you have to, but I guess it's maybe because that's how I draw them, so it just feels right. I'll get her cute little bow here. I'm gonna get these edges. Because last week with the wheelbarrow, I did a horrible job at getting those edges. All right. Oh, I almost forgot this side. Grab right here. Feels so weird sometimes lifting up the door hangers because I don't paint a ton of them. So it's always a little bit more heavy when you're working with them. All right, so we're just gonna go right here, hit this circle. There we go. And right there. There we go. Isn't this GP purple so pretty? I love the coloring. Hey Carol, how are you? Yep, we are cooking a witch today. I think she was getting into that brew so much that she fell on in. I'm trying to decide what should we say her brew is that she's doing. I love making stories while we paint, so we're coming up with their names. I never had a name for her either. That would be another thing. But I'm thinking she maybe made a love potion. What kind of potion did she make? Yeah, like I said, this has been one of my most popular and one of my oldest signs that I've ever done. This was like one of my first signs that I ever did. So for those of you that have followed me forever, you'll remember this sign. But for some of our newbies, it might be a little bit new to you. All right, purple is done. We're good. The GP purple is amazing. It just covers really good. I will add some more little bubbles as we go. Yes, see, Lori remembers. Yes, Lori has this one on YouTube. This one that she did for me. All right, so here is Passion Purple. Guys, I am so sorry about my throat. I just constantly am feeling like a little itch in the throat. Okay, I might have to get more of a bottle. I have one on hand if I need it, but we'll just keep on going. I know, it's an oldie but a goodie. It was one of those ones I got asked the other day to cut some blanks for it. And so I was like, okay, I'll cut some blanks. And I'm like, you know what? I have never painted the door hanger of this. And I'm like, I think it's time. I think it's time we do the door hanger. So I'm going to get the purple Passion. It's the darker purple. This one does take 2 coats. Ain't gonna lie. It's a little more temperamental of a purple. But I think it is such a pretty purple. It is another go-to on my purples. We're using all the good stuff tonight. Gecko is also one of my favorite lime purple or lime greens, and that's what we use tonight too. Orange, that bittersweet orange is also one of my favorites. Love them. All right, I'm gonna get the edge here so I don't forget, because that's my favorite, is I get all the way done and I'm like, crap, I forgot the edge. Okay, so we got one of our cute little bubbles done. Let's get this one. So I'm just taking the edge, my angle brush, and doing a nice smooth little curve there, okay? Going again the other way. And there we go. Now we've met up. We'll smooth this out. I pulled just a little bit of paint there, so I'm gonna just try and cover it as best as we can. All right. Right here with our next one. Actually, we're gonna go a little bit more because we've got some back purple here. All right, trying to make it through. No, dang it, we ran out of paint. All right, so right back through and nice and covered there. We've got one little bubble here. And I'm gonna just slightly take my brush, just the tip of my angle, and kind of curve that. So then we got into that little spot right there, okay? You guys see that? I'm gonna try and get this other side. Just like so. And just like so here. So I'm really just putting the paint right on the angle part of my brush. Even though there is some paint down at the bottom, I've mostly focused on getting the paint up at the top. That's how you can not switch brushes and use these larger brushes and not have to go down to a smaller brush, okay? But if you're not feeling comfortable with that yet, then always just go down to a smaller brush. It's not a problem. Till you start feeling more in control of your brushes, I highly suggest just going down to the smaller brush. But also remember, baby wipes are our best friend. And we can always, always, always clean up with a baby wipe. Here is our next little bubble. Just a little bit of a dot there, so I'm just going to cover that up. I'm sure that when we add our detail lines, it will hide it, but in the meantime, we'll put a little bit of purple there, just to make sure. All right. I am not getting, there we go. I wasn't liking the paint that was loaded onto my brush there. All right. So getting that nice and smoothed out. Getting our edge here. And voila. Hey Nancy, how are you, hon? Hey, it's all good. You showed up. That's all that matters. And those that have watched replay, I thank you anyway. So, all right, so we're gonna just go right through here, make a nice little sweep, and then I'm just gonna barely tap right there. Okay, let me hit, oh, I forgot. I've got two bubbles down here. I'll probably hit this with the heat gun, just because like I said, this purple can be a little bit splotchy in places. So we definitely want to make sure we're good. Got a clump of paint. That's, I think, why I'm not loading as well as I want to in this paint tray. So we'll just work with it the best we can. Let me throw that on that plate. There we go. Let me smooth out this side. Where my brush dragged just a little bit. There we go. And we'll go right here. Let's get a little bit more. going to be opening a new bottle. All right. So I'm just taking my brush, curving it with my fingers, just like so, just like that. And that is giving me that nice, soft, gentle curve. Now these bubbles are not perfect, and that is okay. I think it kind of makes them a little more whimsy and fun because they're not. Yes, we will definitely need a second coat. This is what I wanted to show you. So if you can see it, can you kind of see the patchiness right in here? That is why a second coat is needed, okay? Let me grab the heat gun real quick here. Now my heat gun, this one I got from Harbor Freight. Love Harbor Freight. I think the heat gun cost me maybe 15 bucks, if that. I always keep it on the low setting, never on the high. And work fast, so you don't get your paint to bubble. Because bubbles are fun when you're painting them, but they are not fun when they show up in your paint. Right? Okay. Now let me smooth that one out. Get this one. I did get a little bit of rough edge right there. I'm not going to worry too much about it because the black is going to go right there. So it is going to hide it up. Now, if I was going to paint with a lighter color, I'd be getting out the baby wipes for sure. Okay, right here. And the second coat, I always think goes a little bit better because you're just trying to get those little extra spots. It's not having to do as much full coverage kind of stuff. So I think that's why you can get away with going a little bit faster on that second coat. All right. Getting more into our challenging spot here. So once again, I'm going to get more of the edge of my paintbrush. And we're just going to go right in there. All right. Like so. And one more right here. Okay. Hey, we did not have to open up a new bottle. Woohoo! Look at us go. All right. Now, this is a little abnormal for me because you know I don't typically, or actually, wait a minute. We need to do gray first. I usually always wait for black to be one of the very last, which it will be, but we'll play a little bit with the gray again on this one for her boots. And because the black is going over, you're going to see me paint a little more sloppy on this edge because we know that the black is going to cover right here. So I'm just going to take this, go right here, and that is it that we're going to do right there. Because our black is going to cover it, and then we can make it nice and pretty in a minute. Same thing here. We're going to go nice and pretty right around where our bubble is. There we go. And then we'll smooth this out. So this is kind of just like a nice big shimmer of the cauldron is what I was kind of going for when I designed this. All right. And this, you guys, this is rain gray. this color. Okay. Oh, duh, I need this stuff. I'm in the habit of putting things away tonight. I haven't been cleaning at all today. Just joking. Okay, going to black. Let me grab a new paint tray. Maybe my fingers don't want to get it. All right. Another paint tray here. We're gonna fill this up with some black. All right, I'm gonna still stick with that 3/4 of an inch angle brush. Just cleaning it out a little bit. And then we'll go into lining and detailing a little bit more. So, we're gonna take this little guy, gonna go right clean and go straight off the edge there. Go right around here. It's nice and clean. There we go. Same thing again. Nice and clean here. There we go, and smooth that out. All right. This is our cute little witch cauldron lip edge. Nice and smooth. Smoothing out that paint right there. This is a little bit more tight, so I'm just going to try and get more of my paintbrush around the edge. And I'm also going to pull this way instead of letting it drag wide. That will help a lot too, with not being able to have to switch to a new brush and get in between those areas, okay? Same thing here. We're gonna turn just like that. And one more time. Now my wrist was starting to ache, so if that happens to you when you're painting, just stop, move your brush, move your hand to a different angle, or move your project. You don't want to tweak up your hand too much. Hey, guess what? I missed the purple edge. Dang it. It's all good. We'll come back and do it later. And I was doing so good. All right. Go right around the edge of this guy. Let's get our cute little bubble here. Okay. Clean that up. All right. I'm gonna go right here, get the edge of this, and we'll smooth that out like so. There we go. So same thing here, nice and smooth. Okay, I'm just going to take my brush. There we go. Now see how we had that a little bit messy, but now can't even tell. We got that all cleaned up. Isn't that nice? Okay. Gonna just do a little bit different angle here. There we go. Clean that up. Go right in there and smooth it out. Okay. Now, let me hurry and do that before I forget. Get the edge of our cauldron here. Get just a little bit of paint. All right. Now I do have a little bit of paint that went over on the edge, so I'm just going to smooth that out. That sometimes happens a little bit when you're painting your edge. All right, so I'm going to go right here. We'll get our bubble nice and smooth. They're black. Come back in and clean that up. There we go. Same thing here. Get this cauldron line going. It's kind of like a moon slash swoosh. And then we're going to come up here, and I couldn't quite get that bubble with the placement of my hand. So we'll come back and get that in just a second. We'll smooth this out like so. Okay. Whew. Sorry. I know I just got up close and personal there. Alrighty. So we have this nice and done. We're going to get our boots here. Like so. Smooth that out. I love her twisty boots. Aren't they so fun? Like, I want a pair like that. All right. Just getting my edge here. There we go. Get right in here. Just gonna paint right in this edge, if you guys can see. Oop, you guys can see that. Okay. And we'll go right here. Pull that down, nice and smooth. Okay, I'm gonna lift this up real quick. Get the edge here. Now, when I paint, I like to paint my edges, just because sometimes the paint drips a little bit, so it makes it nicer. Plus, my primer always gets on the inside, if you guys can see that white there. So, to me, it just looks more finished and done. But that's personal preference. I know plenty of painters that don't do their edges. But for me, I like it. Okay. So got that all nice and smoothed out. Luckily for us, black is one of those amazing colors that you don't really have to mess with too much. Okay, so the liner brush that I'm going to do is a 0 spotter brush. And this is what we're going to use for the outline, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to make a little cute ziggy. And we'll just get going here. Now I might add a little bit of water, but so far it's pretty good. Oops, I flicked that a little bit and it made a little flip. So that line will just be a little extra long. Nobody's gonna know. All right. Same here, we'll go right there. And then I'm just gonna clean up that little line that we had there. Whew, we got some paint tonight. All right, same thing here. Make our big bow. Like I said, I like to do the centers of my bow first. It just kind of flows better for me when I do it that way, even when I draw. I just get a better bow, it feels like. So that's why I do it. I have this one little brush, string, hair, whatever you want to call it. It's out of place and it's driving me nuts. Okay. Well, luckily it's not dragging on our project too much, so we're just going to deal with it. There we go. Make a little swoosh right there. All right. Then for our legs, we're going to go straight up and straight back down. Whoop. Got a little crazy drunk there for a minute. And I'm stone silver. All right. So we're going to go here. And a little there. And I'll get that with the bubbles. So here, I kind of feel like we need a little cute, little ziggy zag there. And we're just gonna add these cute little lines here. All right, now can you see how fun this project's popping out? At first it was kind of blah, I know, but just with a little bit of love and fun, we're getting a cute little project going on here. And this one is pretty basic. All right, let's get this little bubble. Going right here. Right, Carolyn? I love how the black just makes it pop. It really does. It really brings it alive. And then just doing a little bit of white outlining. Oh, icing on the cake, right? I like adding my little zigzags. I think it just gives a little extra personality and fun to the project. Gives a little more elements and stuff like that. I know people that do little dots, and I know people that don't do anything at all. It's completely up to you. Painting is supposed to be fun. Don't over stress it, because when you over stress it, it doesn't become fun anymore. Same with wreath making. You know, just like anything, right? All right. Add these back bubbles back into our potion here. There we go. We're gonna get, I think right here will be a cute little zigzag spot. All right. Same right here. Okay, let's do another cute one right here. There we go. And I don't get exactly to the edge on my outer lines, just because it makes it look a little more poppy with things. this guy. Okay, pull this right down here. There we go. Now with this one, I'm just going to kind of add a little bit of movement, nothing too crazy. We'll outline right here, outline again with our dot right here, our little bubble, and there we go. I'm thinking it looks pretty dang cute, if I do say so myself. So there's that. Whoop, got some paint. Woohoo! When painting door hangers, I always get paint. All right, now for some fun. Let's actually hit this gray real quick. And I am going to use one of my daubers. Maybe. I had a green one. Excuse me. Never mind. I'm going to use the back of one of my bigger brushes. And we're going to get, oh, almost off camera, 3 little dots here. Same here. 1, 2, and 3. You can also use the back of a pencil where the eraser is. Does a great job as well. All right. Let me think. We are good on gray. Now we're going to go to the white. Oh, actually, let's pull this purple. Since I have this brush out, we're going to add a couple of little smaller dots to our project. Let's go maybe right here with another one, maybe right here. So these are floating small little bubbles. She's got her potion, all sorts of bubbly, right? Let's go right here with maybe one. I am just randomly doing this. Oh, I forgot a line right there. I'll maybe give one right there. And right there, okay? All right, so let me grab that liner brush while I'm thinking of it, and we'll hurry and do the black right here before I forget. There we go, much better. That would have drove me nuts. Okay. Okay, now to white. And the white really makes it just everything come together. So we're gonna add a little squishy here, maybe right here. Let's add some fun. Go right there. See, ooh, this brush wants to keep splitting on me. Okay, so if you have that, try twisting it in the paint. Sometimes that helps give it just what you need, okay? And I'll just kind of do an outline right around this pot, or cauldron. You know what I'm saying. Okay. Like that. Go right there. Just gonna add a little bit. Now if my brush doesn't touch all the way, it's a-okay, all right? This is just to highlight our project, okay? Nothing too crazy. Go right here. So I'm just kind of doing random swishes with our bubbles. Do you want to get this one? Okay. Oh. it might be helpful to do this other side. And you know what? Since we have a little gap there, we'll throw one right there. Right? Isn't that so fun? Doesn't a light just like pop? Love it. Okay, we'll go maybe here. I'm gonna just highlight that one a little bit stronger than what I had it. And right here, maybe one right there. And kind of go right here. Now, if you notice your brush is starting to get a little bit clumpy, or your lines are getting a little more thick than what you want, you can always rinse it out, which is what I'm going to do. My lines are getting a little more thick for where I want to go with this. Okay. And we will keep going. So quick little swishy there, one right there. Okay. Let me work on this side for a second, and then we'll go down to the boots. So I'm just doing quick little lines on her leggings. I think I want a little bit right there. There we go. Ooh, we went crazy train there for a minute. Okay, let's do a cute little something. And I'm going to slightly, ever so slightly, because these are still a little wet, hit just a little bit of white on the gray little dots there. And when I'm doing that, I want my brush to be extra full with paint to make sure that we get it and we don't carry any more of the gray. Okay, we are done if we don't want glitter, but we want glitter. What are we talking about, right? We need some glitter in our lives. I am going to do glitter on all of the light purple. So I'm going to use my light purple glitter and some Mod, because we need glitter in our life. It just ain't fun if I don't got glitter, right? Can you believe this one didn't have glitter? And I don't have my papers. It fell behind my, my screen. Hold on. Let me just grab another sheet of paper here. Okay. Let's get some glitter going. Oh, hold on. Forgot. We definitely want to fold. Okay. We're going to put that there. I got the Mod, didn't I? Yeah, I did. All right. And because we're going to be using a lot of it, I'm just going to pour it in one of these trays. Normally I use my normally I use just the lid, but because we're going to be working on quite a bit, I am going to put it in the paint tray. So I might have to do this in a couple of little sections. And where our little purple dots are already kind of just wet and tacky, I'm going to let the glitter just go right to them, since they're not dry. And that will get them to have a little bit of glitter and be extra fun and cute for us. So this is one of my older brushes. I think this actually came from a cheap kids kit that I loved because it's great to cover big spots. All right, let's get our glitter on. Don't you love it, Carol? It's one of my favorites. All right, you guys know me. I just load the glitter on. I am just gonna slightly hit the dots here. Sorry, I know I'm talking with a paintbrush in my mouth. Okay, right here and right here. Okay, now this is gonna be the trick because we got a lot of glitter. I might have regretted some decisions here, but yeah, we have a lot of glitter. Ain't that cute? Oh, I love it. And did you see how the little bits of glitter kind of stuck on the bubbles that we already have? It's not quite perfect all the way, but we're gonna take it because it's a lot easier than daubing every single one of them. Let me throw this in here. I am going to flip the camera here so you get the face cam. You guys can see she big, but ain't she so fun? And then you would just do a big cute little bow maybe up here and we would call her done. Ain't she cute? Thank you guys. I know it comes to life. At first it's looking a little like but that's how sometimes these basic ones go, is they'll look really like, oh goodness, what did I do? You start outlining, throw in some highlights, and it just pops, right? I just love it. Thank you all so much. You guys have a wonderful night, and I will see you guys tomorrow. I'll be doing Cricut class. So, see you guys soon. Bye, y'all.